Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich is tracking this storm's path tonight. And Brad, when can we expect to feel the impacts here in Charlotte? But it's going to move pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, we're going to feel it when you wake up tomorrow morning. You can see the storm at Category 1. The key part of this is how quickly this storm is going to be tracking off to the north and east. As it approaches Columbia in the morning, that's when we're going to start to see some of the rain bands move into the Carolinas. Let me show you the track there. You can see at 8 a.m. it should be approaching Columbia, South Carolina, and then by 8 p.m. it's going to be all the way up towards Norfolk, Virginia, passing quickly out to sea. Now that track puts us on the west side, generally the better side of the system. You can still see some hurricane warnings down to the south. Those are going to be discontinued. And while we still have tropical storm warnings around Charlotte, most of the stronger winds are going to be off towards the south and east. I think a bigger concern overnight into the morning hours might be an isolated tornado risk to our southeast. You see the chances of seeing 40-mile-per-hour winds, basically tropical storm force, generally higher as you go to the south and east than that over the Charlotte area. Now, right now, the Storm Prediction Center is monitoring South Carolina. As the storm approaches, we're likely going to see a new tornado watch issued for probably a large section of South Carolina. It could include a few counties into the Charlotte area. We'll keep an eye on that through the overnight hours. That's pretty typical. When the storm is tracking in this direction, the northeast quadrant, which is now this part of the storm, the right side is where you tend to see tornadic development. And you see these bands forming down towards Savannah and Charleston. We've actually got a tornado warning with this cell right here, and there might be several tornado rotating cells in here that are going to go up into the Midlands of South Carolina. Because that's close enough to the Charlotte area, that would be an area of concern for the overnight hours. But as the storm gets further north and east, that'll put us in a less favorable location for tornadoes. But during the overnight hours, certainly a possibility. You can see the flow around the storm, dry air beginning to wrap in a little bit as the storm is kind of going through a transition. It's going to become more of a hybrid system through the day tomorrow. So you wake up tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., heavy rain around, probably some pretty good thunderstorms. Look at the wind picking up middle of the day. And then by 5, 6, 7 o'clock, that's when things start to improve. So it'll be a quick moving storm. So we'll see the storms and rain pick up quickly in the morning, but it'll move out just as quickly in the afternoon hours. Here's the future cast. Again, you see the leading edge coming up here during the morning hours. Again, some of these showers and storms could have some rotation in it, possible tornadoes, certainly with those early morning storms. And then quickly that exits out of the region. And then the cooler air moves in. This is when we're going to see temperatures in the 50s for lows. The afternoon highs will be in the 70s and 60s. A reinforcing shot of cool air coming in for the weekend into early next week. So here are the impacts we're looking at overnight. Probably down trees and flooding, but I had to bring up the tornado threat a little bit, especially for our southern counties. Certainly that threat will be around in the morning. Now, what about those wind speeds? You see generally the highest gusts will be around 25 to 35 miles per hour. Could see some gusts to 40, especially south and east, and any heavy rain bands could bring some of those stronger winds down to the surface. But all in all, even the winds won't be that strong for very long. As the cold front moves in, it picks up the system and moves it out quickly behind it as we go into the weekend. This is our first real autumn cold front, the coolest temperatures we've seen since really the springtime. Our first bout of 40s and 50s for lows, afternoon highs in the 60s and 70s. It will be gorgeous. Now, rainfall. This is probably our biggest concern tomorrow. You could see some of these areas north and west of Charlotte could pick up 5 to 6 inches of rain. That's a real possibility. So flash flooding is a big concern tomorrow. So here's that timeline again, just to kind of give you an idea of the timing and impacts, really starting in the morning, peaking about middle of the day through late afternoon, and then by evening we should see rapid improvement across the majority of the area. So tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms most of the day. By 5, 6 o'clock, that's when we'll see the weather improve. Temperatures all day long won't move anywhere, pretty much stuck in the 70s. Now, the good weather, look at this. Friday, Saturday into Sunday, look at those temperatures. Upper 60s, low 70s, morning lows in the 40s and 50s. And if you like that, there's more of that ahead next week, and we kind of deserve it because after 50-some days of above average temperatures and another tropical system, it's time for autumn already.
Yes, I'm so excited. I can't wait, Brad. Thank you.